Welcome in. Welcome in. Happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully, you guys had a good week. We've made it to Friday. We've got the weekend on the horizon here, and we've got a huge baseball slate tonight. There is quite a bit of games going on, so a lot to talk about. There's one game in particular I am very interested in. So my play for the day is going to come from that game. And I also have a prop I like for tonight that's going to come from that game. So we'll talk about it. Recap of Thursday. Not good on the MLB front. The Mets, I think the Mets were losing by one at the end of the fifth inning, which I did. I did end up taking them first five. So that was unfortunate. And Christian Scott, really just tough start for him from the jump because he came out. It seemed like the odds were just stacked against him from the start. He came out and he would have had like a 13 pitch first inning, but the third out that he made, they got called for catcher's interference. So we thought the inning was over. Then he had to go back and get another out. And then after that, so that prolonged his top of the first inning. And then bottom of the first inning, Zach Gallen gets hurt on like the first batter of the game. And then, obviously Arizona has nobody warming up in the bullpen. So he ended up having a prolonged first inning. And then he had to sit for like 22 minutes or 24 minutes before he got back out there to pitch again. And it just wasn't his night. He was deep into count, a lot of full counts, a lot of long at bats. Guys were fouling pitches off. So unfortunate there. It just was not his night. But I did talk about the Mavericks on yesterday's video. So 1-1 on the video yesterday. The Scott pitching outs lost, but I did say I would take Mavericks money line if Derek Lively was in. He was in. I tweeted about it as well, posting the Discord. We took the +5 and the money line, both won. Can't believe they were giving us 5 points. I don't know. It's not often that like Vegas is just really wrong, but I felt like that was, one of those instances last night. Like you were giving us five. The better team was getting 5 points. And I don't really care about the road narrative because Dallas just won twice in Minnesota, the first two games of the series. So I didn't understand why people thought they couldn't do that again. Saw a lot of people on Minnesota yesterday, which was insane. Um, I'm not going to ever say I'm perfect. Obviously, my baseball play sucked yesterday, but if you were on the Timberwolves -5 points last night, you need to reevaluate some things because, I mean, yeah, it's just clear Dallas is the better team. But I digress. Should be a fun finals, Celtics and Mavericks. I think the Mavericks have a chance, man. I know the Celtics are a complete team, especially with Porzingis healthy. They're very good, but I think the Mavericks have a chance. I'm going to be interested in the Mavericks for that series line, I think. We'll see what happens. This is going to be a big question mark for Tatum and Brown because they played in the finals a few years ago, and that was the last time the Warriors, won a championship. They didn't have enough to get over the hump against the Warriors. Now they're a couple years older. If they don't beat the Mavericks, some serious conversations are going to be had in Boston because they are the heavy favorite here. They should win this series. But I really think Dallas has a chance. I love how their role players have played. This playoffs really, outside the first couple games, their role players have stepped up. Gafford, PJ Washington, Derek Jones, Derek Lively's been incredible. So I'm going to be excited. I'm probably going to be on the Mavericks in the series. I'm going to be rooting for the Mavericks, most definitely. If you're a Celtics fan watching this video, it's no hard feelings. I'm a big Jason Tatum fan. I always have been. I've been a big supporter of him throughout his career. But, I mean, since I was, 14, 15 years old, Kyrie Irving is my favorite player. So, and Luka is pretty impossible not to root for as well. So it's going to be a great series. I'm excited to watch it. All right, let's dive in. Baseball. You can see there's some big edges here on some of these games today, especially on the total side. Some pretty heavy money coming in on the under in the Angels Mariners game. Pretty heavy money coming on the under in the Padres Royals game, as well as the Twins Astros. So that's interesting to see. Guardians are sizable favorites here against Patrick Corbin. But the game that I am looking at is St. Louis and Philly. So I've kind of been picking on St. Louis. I know they've been hot relative to what they've done to start the season. I've kind of been picking on them the last few videos, but we're going to go back to the well here. It's Miles Michaelis going up against Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola is kind of in that Kevin Gausman tier of a once dominant pitcher that really struggled coming out of the gate this season. You know, his velocity was down. People were, having questions if he was hurt. He's kind of in that mold, but overall, his numbers have stabilized and he's been very good. 3.45 expected ERA is right on par with his best years of his career. The strikeouts are definitely down compared to what we saw 2019 with a 27%. 2020, he had a 33% strikeout rate. And then the 2 years following that, he was at 29%. Now he's down to 23%. But, he is getting a little bit older. He's 30 years old now. The velocity is down a little bit, so he's probably adjusting to, learn how to pitch like that. So the strikeouts are not where they were career-wise, but all of the other numbers are. His hard hit percentage is down a percentage from what it was last year. Like I said, the advanced stats are good. He's really rebounded, I feel like, over the last month. 275 WOBA allowed is very good. So he's been very, very good over the last month. So I have my trust back with Aaron Nola. As far as Miles Michaelis goes, this is someone that we were picking on pretty regularly to begin the season. His actual ERA is a full run higher than is expected, so he's been a little bit unlucky in that aspect, but he gives up 43.5% hard hits, doesn't have much strikeout ability. The numbers are just nowhere near Aaron Nola level numbers. And that's why Aaron Nola is a minus 200 favorite, right? I mean, there's no denial there in terms of the line. So how we're going to play this is we're going to take the Phillies first five on the spread. So they need to be winning by 1 run at the end of the fifth inning. That number is minus 130 on DraftKings. It's minus 140 on FanDuel. So if you're going to take this bet, I would highly suggest grabbing it on DraftKings to save that 10 cents. Get you the first five minus half a run at minus 130 on DraftKings. That's today's pick. I also think it's a good matchup. Specifically, these two pitchers have pitched for the same teams for a while. So we do have a decent, sample size. I don't love to cite BVP or PVB, rather, either one, just because we're often dealing with some pretty small sample sizes in baseball, and there's just not much you can draw from that. Given that these guys pitch for the same teams for multiple years, we do have a decent sample size. So we have a 141 plate appearance sample size of Nola versus the Cardinals active roster, and we have 147 of Michaelis against the Phillies active roster. So these are some sample sizes that you can actually take conclusions from. For Nola, he's been completely dominant against them. 262 expected WOBA allowed, 207 expected batting average allowed. Really, really good numbers across the board for Nola against the Cardinals. I'm pretty sure Nola versus the Cardinals has been a narrative in the past. And the Phillies are at home here where they've been really good. Let me pull up, and if I can see the numbers for Philly, their home record is 22-8 at home. They're 17-10 on the road, 22-8 at home. They've been that's the most home wins in all of baseball right now. The Phillies. So they've been exceptional at home in Philly, and Aaron Nola has been very good against the Cardinals in his career. Like, I wonder, just for reference, like what Nola's numbers are at home in his career. I'm gonna see if I can pull that up quickly. I'm not gonna look at this year. He's pitched for a long time, so let's just do the career splits at home, and let's see what we get. All right, for his career, Aaron Nola at home. Where's this ad on here? I don't know if I Oh, here we go. Okay, so Aaron Nola at home in his careers allowing a 217 batting average, on the road 242. So definitely better numbers in that aspect. It's a pretty even sample size. It looks like 121 home games to 125 on the road. He has given up um he has significantly more strikeouts at home versus on the road. That's crazy, actually. So we're talking 4 less games at home versus on the road, but he has 100 more strikeouts. 886 home strikeouts versus 761 on the road. So that's interesting. In terms of the ERA, 324 home ERA and 414 road. So yeah, Nola, much better home splits. Phillies have been a great home team this year. So that's another factor that we can kind of place for our interest. And then on the opposite side of that, Miles Michaelis has been terrible, against the Phillies. So that's going to lead into the prop that I like here. And we can just jump there right now. It's actually going to be Bryce Harper over 1.5 total bases at plus 100. I know he's kind of been streaky this year, Harper, but on top of him having great numbers in his career against Miles Michaelis, it's just a great matchup across the board. So Michaelis for this season is giving up a 363 WOBA to lefties, 205 ISO, terrible numbers. Last year he was really bad against lefties as well, so it's pretty clear, it's good to attack him with left-handed hitters. And Bryce matches up great with his pitch mix as well. At this point, from Michaelis, you're going to see about 3 pitches. He's going to throw that slider, four-seam fastball, and a sinker. Bryce Harper has fantastic numbers against all 3 of those pitches. He has fantastic numbers against right-handed pitching, and he has fantastic numbers against Miles Michaelis in his career. The first thing that stuck out to me, Harper, 99 mile per hour average exit velocity against Michaelis in his career. So that's the 2 plays that kind of correlate together for me today. Phillies first 5 minus half a run minus 130. Bryce Harper over 1.5 total bases at plus 100. If you made it through the video, thank you. Be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel so you know when I post these videos every single day. I will not have a video for tomorrow's slate because I have a golf outing in the morning. I will not be home to record a video. Sunday, there's day baseball. So what I think I'm going to do is potentially record a video Saturday night for the Sunday slate to get it out ahead, because if I post a video at 10 a.m., it's just going to be stale, when the games start in 2 hours. So tentatively plan for maybe a Saturday night video for the Sunday slate. If not, we'll be back on Monday. Thank you guys for tuning in. Good luck with your bets tonight and this weekend. And I'll see everyone on the next video.